much for sitting with me today. So you guys are on tour again. It's pretty awesome. You had a little break there for a little bit. How's that been going? Like, what does that feel like to kind of get back in the studio, put out your album, rock and roll? What was that feeling when you guys just got back together in the studio again?
It's weird. There's a lot of feelings. There's a lot of different points too, because like it was exciting to be back in the studio, but it's also kind of like, you know, the first day was kind of scary and frustrating. Everybody was looking at each other like, you know, I don't know if this is going to work or if this is going to happen. And same thing with the first show. I think we were all really excited, but it's like there's nothing guaranteeing that it's going to work out. By the way, loving this. Loving the little cotton
It's a magical effect
right
now we
it's
have
beautiful.
going on.
This isn't a special effect.
This is just happening. It's nature.
Yeah.
That's awesome though. So when you say you didn't know what to expect in the studio though, but you know, how did you even like call each other to be like, hey, want to do this again now? Like, what was that deciding moment to know that now was the time?
It wasn't really like, hey, let's do this. It was kind of like multiple phone calls that kind of ended with the idea, or started the idea of, hey, let's just write some music and see. And then, you know, once we got a good bevy of songs together, then it's like, okay, let's try this in the studio. And then if it didn't work in the studio, the songs weren't good, if it wasn't coming out right, probably just wouldn't be coming.
Yeah.
That's why we weren't telling anybody about it, because I think if we said, hey, we're back together, and then made a record we didn't like, we kind of would be forced.
Yeah, I always hate when bands do the thing where it's like, yeah, we got a new record coming out eventually,
20 years,
you know, and it's going to be really good maybe, I don't know. So we wanted to be a little bit more defined with it, just be like, you know, like either it's happening or it's not. So in order to do that, we just let them not tell anything.
What was the song then that was kind of that moment where you're like, all right, this is happening?
There's a few songs that kind of changed the tide. In the first place, the song that started the whole thing was Where'd the Party Go, which is kind of funny because, you know, initially that was when we had started out, everyone, like management and label and everyone were like, wow, that's a single. And now it's not even in the running for singles now.
Really?
Because we outgrown it, I guess, which is that's a great feeling. But then was I think the biggest one would be my songs that we did, right? In terms of like, okay, we're gonna do a record. You know, like that's when we knew we were gonna make a record. I don't think we knew it was really done as Venus and say Rock and Roll. When those songs got in place, I think we were like, okay, we got our album.
How's like the overall feel for this so far? Just being back on the road.
But awesome. I think we're all like in a better place, much happier, more relaxed. It's very humbling to be able to go to the whole show sold out. It's fun to play with a lot of venues. We haven't got a chance to play in a long time, so it's a lot of cool bits and stuff.
So you kind of are, I'm getting the feel that just this whole run this time, you're just saying you're like better people, just kind of relax a bit more.
We're better people. We're better at being people.
We're better at playing people.
That's
We're better at portraying people.
So like during just kind of like that little break, what did you guys really learn to kind of take to this next album, to this next tour, just be like, all right, you know, do you have to change some things? Just kind of.
Yeah, change lots of things.
Everyone had to do their own individual kind of business and their own kind of like ways they react to things, personality tweaks and stuff, and confidence levels. Everyone else had to go on different music projects to kind of learn how to kind of be on their own and become more able as far as like songwriting. Did it. We got to see each other do that and garner like a different level of stuff.
We did, you know, flip the script a little bit and change up a lot of the ways we do things where like, you know, for a long time we didn't really have a lead guitar player so when I would just switch off in the lead song. And that becomes kind of ridiculous when it's like, well, I'm the singer. And it has to be good. You know, sometimes he's singing and playing music, which is kind of stupid. And a lot of times it's just we wouldn't have conversations. So now I'm like formally a rhythm guitar player, Joe's formally a lead guitar player. Andy picked up a lot of background vocals, which we never did before. Joe's doing a bit too. And in terms of writing, we kind of took away the rule book in terms of like, you know, I think there's still a lot of it that is me writing the music and me writing the lyrics, but there's also a lot of it that was Joe writing a lot of the music and where we sounds good.
Sounds great. We have it. Close. Yeah.
you know, I think we made the band better and stronger.
So I know, like right now, you're just kind of enjoying the fact that your album is like number one. You have this, that's awesome though. And then you have, you know, your single out right now, you know. So I don't want to, you know, just be like, hey, what's next? But I mean, we kind of enjoyed this. But hey, anyways, what's next? Like,
What's next? We have a bigger tour, like as far as venue size, like a arena tour that we're doing in the fall, and that's it. Like, you know, we're just going on this record and enjoying it.
awesome.
Yeah.
These fuzzies right now. I probably have
Very
all in my hair.
You have none in your hair. No, you have
got a
one.
few, okay.
I'm sure they always fall in my hair.
I'll pick them out later. It's well, that's awesome, and like I'm really excited. I know when I was in high school, I listened to you guys all the time. It was I was a drummer in high school, so yeah. So I kind of, you know, obviously had to put that aside for radio a little bit more. But I would be in my basement playing the drum beat to Dance Dance all the time. My mom was probably like, we have such a small house, and I'm gonna be off this damn drum set.
Yeah, I think that's the story for many drummers.
Why a lot of people become guitar players or bass players. It's just something you can do at a attenuated volume.
Yeah. So that I'm sure was very annoying her. But yeah, it's really exciting to just see you guys back together again and doing your thing and doing it well. You know how sometimes bands come back together, like you were saying, and it's just kind of like, you probably should have just, you know, left at the top. But you guys came back and you're still on the top.
And that's, I think, another key to that. And it's funny because I think we all have different answers, more or less say the same thing. But I think a big part of it too is not worrying about the top because there really wasn't any expectation. We had nothing that would lead us to believe that we could possibly come back and have a number one
set out
album.
to do that.
Yeah, like and a top 10 singer and stuff. That stuff's ridiculous.
Yeah, we're super lucky, super stoked, lucky. We couldn't see that coming. I think it was more like to make the best record that we would like.
Yeah.
If we like it, then we're like, okay, we back it, we support it, we want to ship this.
Yeah. So basically, that feeling doesn't get old though, even though you do it because you love it, but when you're just like, yes, number one, like.
Well, I mean, honestly, I mean that was our second number one. So I hope it doesn't get. I hope we're not that jaded that quick. But you know, and I think it's also a totally different experience too. I think there's a little bit of an element of like, you know, getting to experience things. You know, that old adage of I wish I knew. You know, all I know now when I was younger. You know, that thing of. I feel like we definitely we're getting to experience that. So.
That's awesome. Well, kick ass tonight. It's gonna be a good show. And nice to meet you, Austin.
Of course.
All right.
Thank you for coming to Austin.
Thank you. Yeah, you know.